Hello, welcome to WRT120, Effective Writing 1 for Spring 2019 at Westchester University. I'm your professor, Dr. Timothy Ray, and my email is tray@wcpa.edu. The text that we'll be using this semester is Everyone's an Author, second edition, with readings by Andrea Lunsford and others. Okay, I wanted to use this introductory lecture to kind of introduce you to the course policies, the assignments, and how this is all going to work in an online environment. And so let me go over some particulars on the syllabus here. I tried to put a lot of important information here at the top, and so you see my name and my email address, and generally speaking, email is one of the best ways to get a hold of me. Further down, you see my office and office hours, and then when you get to office phone, you'll notice that it says English Department Main Office. I don't actually have a phone in my office, so once again, email is one of the best ways to get a hold of me. My office hours this semester are from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and by appointment. During my office hours, I'm going to try to be logged in to Zoom, which is a video conferencing program that Westchester is using. And I have a dedicated room for my office hours, and there's the address for it. And outside of my office hours, if you need to set up an appointment with me, we can either meet here, or one of the nice things I like about Zoom is it has a nice scheduling function in it. And so we can set up an appointment to meet via Zoom at a particular time, and I will send you an email through Zoom that will schedule this conference. And instead of the My Tim Ray at the end, it'll have a unique string of numbers basically at the end. And so that's kind of a one-time Zoom conference room, and this is my standing ongoing Zoom conference room. So and once you use Zoom, you'll find out it's really easy to use, and so you'll like it. So it's got instead of just one-on-one, which is what I used to do with Skype or Google Hangouts, you could get like 8 people in a room. But this has much more flexible in terms of size, has a really nice scheduling function in it, works well on mobile devices. And so, again, as I tried to say, during my office hours, I will try to be logged in to my Zoom conference room as well. Mailbox in main 527, you shouldn't need it. We're doing everything electronically. I'm distributing materials electronically, you're submitting drafts electronically, and talking about the readings, engaging in discussions and workshops electronically. So shouldn't be any need for my mailbox. The Writing Center, you might have the opportunity to take advantage of their services. They're in the library, Francis Harvey Green Library, room 251, and there's their phone number. And they do take some walk-in appointments, but they do prefer that you schedule an appointment. But they're very helpful and friendly people over there, and they can help you at any stage of the writing process, from invention and pre-writing and brainstorming. Maybe you don't have anything written down, you just have an assignment sheet. They'll dialogue with you about that. And all the way through the writing process, they don't proofread essays, but they will help you develop strategies for looking for issues in your writing. And they help everyone from first-year writing students up to graduate students. So if you feel like that would be in order, take advantage of it. There's the information about the text again that we already talked about. And now we're down to the course description, and so I'm going to let you read much of that on your own, but first statement there, this is a completely online course, and so that's critical to understanding the course. Hopefully you guys are prepared for that, up for the challenge. Basically, I want to make it as robust as an in-person classroom. It does rely quite a bit on you as a student being involved and engaged, because you can't just show up for class and sit in the back of the room and take notes, or do your social media or something and get credit for that. So instead, you have to do regular activities such as discussion boards and various parts of the writing process, workshopping those with your peers. So, okay, so I'll let you read much of the description of the course on your own. And this course addresses 3 Gen Ed goals: communicate effectively, respond thoughtfully to diversity, think critically and analytically. And also at Westchester, we have these first-year writing program goals: think with writing, think about writing, and compose writing. And so we're going to be working on those over the course of the semester. And you're also going to be engaged in a assignment called the Theory of Writing, in which we'll start at the very first week of class. You need to think about what is your definition of good, effective writing. So first week of the semester, I'm going to ask you for about a paragraph on that simple question. And then at the midterm, we're going to expand upon the prompt and kind of trouble it, complicate it a bit, and let you write a little bit more on that. And then at the end of the semester, we're going to return to this. And it's kind of a semester reflection, but we're channeling all of our thoughts into this basic overall prompt. What is your definition of good, effective writing? We may do some tweaking with the question over the course of the semester, so I'll keep you alerted to that. So we've got this little table here: thinking with writing, thinking about writing, and composing writing. And then we expand upon it in this chart on the next page. And so we're going to come back to this and talk about a lot of the terminology and concepts that are embedded within this document, and try to unpack those terms. So the reading, writing, discussion, and workshop activities will assist you in developing these abilities. So, okay, moving on. Okay, the method of this course: it's participatory and collaborative. It relies on your involvement. I try to structure the course as much as possible as a workshop, and so I want to kind of shape this class, mold it, set up the apparatus online for things to happen, but this depends heavily on your involvement in this class. So, okay. Required work for the course and weighting of the assignments. We have 4 major assignments this semester. The first one, and all of these, we're trying to engage in multimodal writing. So not just words on the page, but trying to incorporate images and text, audio and text, and graphics, images, writing in various modes. So that's part of what we're working on this semester. So the first one is the multimodal memory, which is basically a memoir, I've said down here. And it's remembering events. So you're writing about an event in your life that was significant in some way. But we're also going to be incorporating graphics and images into this to help tell our story. So we have a written text, and we're going to have a visual text as well. The next assignment is an informative essay. And so we're doing something that's called a profile essay. And so we're going to work toward a draft of this document. And then between the rough draft and the final draft, we're going to work on developing it as a audio text. So basically kind of a podcast. And so as much as with the first essay, we're talking about a visual text to go along with the written text, here we're talking about an audio text, audio as text, to go along with a written text. So The third assignment is an evaluation essay, an analysis, and so we're going to do an online review, kind of like a social media posting, and I'll ask you to kind of replicate all of the visual elements of a website that might publish your online review. So finally, we're going to do, at the end of the semester, a portfolio of your work, and then the various parts of the theory of writing assignment, beginning of the semester, mid-semester, and then end of semester. So those are the major assignments. In addition, you're going to get points on class participation and on reading responses and discussion. The writing workshops, basically I try to keep moving your essays along and also engaging in discussion of kind of sample essays. So, okay. So, moving along, course policies. You'll notice here that instead of attendance being the first policy here, it's participation. I really can't take attendance in an online classroom, so can't have you guys log in at a regular time and get credit for just being there, but you have to actually do something in an online classroom. So prepare yourself for that. Basically about twice a week you're going to have to do something as part of this class. So, okay. And class structure. Basically, rather than requiring everyone to be online at a specific time, which would be a synchronous class meeting, I prefer to go with a asynchronous model, not meeting in real time, because that allows us to take advantage of being online. We have more flexibility, that I give you windows of opportunity to do things. So I might say, post your response to one of the readings and then log back in later to respond to at least 2 of your peers or all of the members of your peer response group. So the first part, I call that a window of opportunity, and you'll have like 48 hours in which to get that done. And then that window closes, and then another window opens to respond to your peers on what they've done. And so we're constantly dealing with these windows of opportunities that are roughly about 48 hours. And so it allows people who have unusual work schedules or anything to take this course. Maybe they're remote in some way. They can take this course. And an online course with a flexible schedule like this works into everyone's schedule. So you can always find time to do this. The hard part is the discipline that it takes to kind of keep up with things. So again, you can't just kind of show up and take notes, but involvement and participation are key. Okay, so conferences and office hours, I do my best to maintain them faithfully for your benefit, so please take advantage of them. And there's some discussion of Skype and Google Hangouts here, but once we get up and running on Zoom, that'll be the way that I maintain my office hours. And my office hours are there for your benefit, so please take advantage of them. Office hours allow us to talk about your writing in real time. So occasionally students will want to email me their drafts and have me respond to them. Well, it takes about 4 times as much to write out my thoughts over an email and make sure that I'm clear and get those across than it does to meet with people and conference with them. So oftentimes we get that aha moment, and then I can stop talking and move on to something else. So I can't do the individual response for everyone, and so I set up peer response groups so that you rely on your peers for that. And but I will make myself available to conference with you. So if you want to talk about things, let's set up a conference. Okay, so I have some statements here about technical proficiency, and I'll let you read these on your own. Hardware requirements, technical support, but since this is an online class, these things become pretty important. Verification of student identity, basically the fact that you can log in on D2L, that's acceptable as verification of student identity because there's a username and password. So, and I'll be seeing you at different points, with face-to-face or video conferences. So, and I'll see your writing evolve. So, I feel confident that you are the person who's taking this course and this is your writing. Okay, so accessing academic or scholarly resources online. We shouldn't need them this semester, but there's how to take advantage of that. Public nature of the class. Basically, what I'm saying here is that you must be willing to subject your writing to the scrutiny of others. We'll talk about giving constructive criticism, but I can't let you opt out of the peer response activities and say, I want to write about this event in my life for the multimodal memory, but it's so intensely personal. I only want you to look at things. And I'll say, you can write that essay, but not for this class. So I need you to write about something, things that you can share with others. We're working toward a more public audience in academic writing, and so we need to think of a larger public. Okay. So I've got some things here about ground rules for class discussion and basically civility online. My response time. Format for all evaluated drafts. Because we're engaging in multimodal writing, there is no set format. So we'll work with appropriate formats and figure out an appropriate size of that document to correlate with, what might be a 5 to 7 page paper otherwise. So, okay, late work. Late work is downgraded a third of a letter grade for every day that it's late. So, there's that. Revision policy. Revising is a major part of what we do in this course, but I can't have a completely open-ended revision policy. So what I've decided is that you can revise either one of the first two assignments, the multimodal memory or the podcast profile, up to a 90%. And that's due at the end of the semester. And basically, I've noticed that when I used to let people revise up to 100, that I had a lot of people who already had A's, and they were trying to revise up to 100 also. So by kind of cutting it off at 90, if you got an A the first time around, no one's going to leapfrog you. But if you only got a 70 the first time around, then a 90 starts to look pretty good. So we can kind of rescue your grade a little bit. Okay. Some other statements here about the writing process, self-assessment and reflection, blah, blah, blah. This is kind of writing program stuff that I've got in here. Reading responses are a part of this course. Academic integrity, you should familiarize yourself with this policy. I think we know plagiarism is misrepresenting your work, and it's not just lifting things word for word out of a book in the library, but it can also include borrowing your roommate's paper from the previous semester and turning it in as your own, or downloading a paper off the internet and turning it in as your own. And so this is one of the reasons that I try to hold you so close to the writing process. I can see your writing evolve, so I feel confident that we're maintaining academic integrity. And penalties for academic dishonesty can include no credit for the assignment, or no credit for the course, or for repeated violations could even include expulsion from the university, which leaves a permanent mark on your academic record and makes it very difficult to get into another university. So Stick with the process that we're going to follow, and we shouldn't have any problems with this. Okay. Okay, under time commitment, this is pretty standard that at the college level for every hour that you spend, quote unquote, in class, you should plan to spend 2 to 3 hours a week on your own working on things outside of class. And so if you're taking 15, 16 hours a week, a semester, you're looking at a 45 to 60 hour a week job just taking care of your classes. So plan accordingly. Try not to overload yourself with other commitments. So special accommodations, Westchester complies with the Americans with Disabilities Act. And if you need special accommodations, contact the folks at the Office of Services for Students with Disabilities, or visit them in Lawrence Center, and they will take care of assessing your situation and issuing a letter on your behalf if they feel that it's warranted. So, LGBT ally statement, I include that in my syllabus because I've gone through LGBT ally training here at Westchester University, and also have some standard policies here about reporting incidents of sexual violence. Email policy, you're expected to check your email regularly. Emergency preparedness. The WC alert system, you can sign up for that on the website. And finally, incompletes. Incompletes in composition are rare, given only in the most compelling circumstances. And if I feel you've had as much opportunity as anyone else to succeed in class, I'm probably not going to give you an incomplete. So that's all I have for you at this point with this video lecture. More will be forthcoming, and glad that you're part of this class. Looking forward to meeting with you and working with you, and hope you have a good semester. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or post them into that class water cooler that I created on D2L. Thank you very much.